is we keep hearing that, I heard that Stephanie say that she has background in data mining. Well, she should have mined a little deeper for what would have saved this township a ton of money. The audit that we had done before Stephanie came in cost us $2,400. When I was a controller of a business that had a lot of different things going on, because it's a business, you have a lot of more things going on. I never paid for an audit of over $5,500 to do an audit on a company that had millions and millions of dollars. This makes absolutely no sense. None. And I resent the fact that because I'm stuck with it, and she didn't even bother to put the check numbers in on the tax account, I'm supposed to go back and correct all these when this is what she gave, a daily sheet. She never balanced the one, folks. And had she actually run the report, the errors and omissions she would have seen, she would certainly, for common sense alone, known this isn't right. I'm going to have to go back and correct it. 2 years later, I do not have enough time to go back and line item, especially when they don't have a document number, and most of them simply have a transaction number. Excuse me. So first and foremost, an apology is deserved to Pat. Second thing I want to address. I want to publicly thank my sister again for coming up and helping me with the mounds of paper that was stuffed in a drawer. These are not in order. These were vertical while everything else was horizontal. It makes no sense. She volunteered, and I'm sure we all know what that word means. She also bought labels so everything she processed could be absolutely not mistaken for something else, and she bought banker boxes for the actual storage of these documents. So I take umbrage at that fact. Any FOIA, so let's get to the FOIAs now. I've been in office 6 months as of the 4th of October. I have had 4 FOIAs. The FOIAs are perfectly fine. They all went through the township attorney. I do not have a control of an outside source when they give me a cost of what it's going to be to perform and get canceled checks. Hey, wait, when was the last time anybody got a canceled check with their statement? Canceled checks back to 2009 to 2022. Again, this is a waste of time. On the FOIA, as far as the charges that before I was here was $1 a page, which is in direct violation of Michigan law. It's 10 cents a page unless it's legal size. We don't have legal size. The attorney, again, I'm not an expert. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. So there is absolutely no reason that this is all a mess. And I am not going to line item it. I have found that I know the necessary paperwork to send them, and they can highlight and they can correct it. This is why this audit cost us $10,150. Which is outrageous. And this one that's been ignored. So again, here we are. Stephanie's ignored unilateral decision, which goes to the fraud case. Again, excuse me. Again, it's a situation of the clerk didn't know what she didn't know. No bank cares what date is on a check unless you have a specialized account that above the signature says, void if not presented in 90 days. So I was turned over for fraud because after I was sworn in, I went and we removed Stephanie as what is the right thing to do from our checking accounts, from access to any of them, and I was put on the signature card. The bank, again, they only care if the person who signs the check is the appropriate signer, and I was. So we wasted a lot of time with that, wasted the sheriff's department's time. Let me go back to why I ran. I ran for office because Stephanie had released our personal information to someone who was totally unqualified for it. The second thing is, it really bugged me that we were paying someone to do a job. I mean, I've supported myself most of my life. Was to do a job that we ended up continuing to pay her and having to pay someone else to do the job. What's changed? She didn't do the audit, she didn't do, and she still found no reason not to collect her paycheck and ignore her duties. So we need to make progress. This board is trying to make progress. But these FOIAs that are nonsensical, I mean really, you didn't even answer the one. And from everything I've seen, you say the clerk, on the 15th, well, I didn't see any resolution where Bernard Nichols was appointed to be the FOIA coordinator. And he did your FOIA. So anyway, that's my clerks, and I would sincerely hope that the two people who have maligned the reputation, asserted falsehoods, would step up to the plate and do the decent thing and apologize to Pat for the harassment over the last year. That's it.
Okay, gonna move on. Supervisor and zoning comments. We did 2 splits, 15 permits. Considerable amount of building going on in the township. So far, we've done pretty good.
What?
I'm sorry?
A lot of building going in.
Yeah, 15 permits
15,
and
okay.
2 splits. One on Culver Road, one on Peterson Road. Zoning part of it, is easy. But I've asked, and now I'm going to make a couple of comments. Made calls to the chairperson of the Planning Commission, and I've gotten no response from the chairperson on the Planning Commission. I think that if I call the person, they should at least answer the phone. That bothers me to the point where I believe the terms for the Planning Commission are up at this point. I think that we'll start by looking for new people to replace the existing Planning Commission. And the ones that are on there that are responsible come to this township board meeting, you're all welcome to come here. This is a public meeting. You should be able to come here and be able to listen to what's said, voice your opinion, and when you leave that door, you should be able to go home in peace, not be accosted outside of this building. You should not have to worry about someone coming up because you've made a comment about something in this building. You should be able to leave here and go home feeling good. Any more people going up and accosting the people at this meeting, I will check on legal actions to be taken towards those people who will accost the ones that are outside of this building. I hope that's as clear as I can make it. You know, we're all here for the same thing, and if you guys can't do that, by all means, check yourself at the door, because we aren't going to have that at all. All right, moving on. We'll go into the last public comment. Anybody like to start? James.
I just want to say, I don't know how many people know what Sue's job was before she retired. But she managed an office with a lot of employees, and she was responsible, if I'm not mistaken, for every car on that car lot, whether it was new,
Every
used, or
part of
whatever.
it.
Exactly. And why anybody would employ us for records back to 2009 is absolutely crazy.
Who's next? Sir? Mark?
Mr. Supervisor, I have not seen where any zoning administrator has been appointed.
Well, I'm just, I believe it was, when we took office.
I'd be interested in seeing in the minutes where that was done. And,
You're welcome to come in and take a look through the minutes.
and is there a salary being paid to a zoning administrator?
I don't believe so, I don't know.
Yeah, same as what he received.
Same as what you got?
Okay. But you don't know that you've been appointed zoning administrator?
I'm pretty sure I was.
Okay. That's all.
I just want you to know that I do the job. So. All right, anybody else?
So I just have to comment, yes, the books were a freaking mess. Yes, I've said that for 2 years. It's part of the reason why we needed a new auditor. Yes, I don't disagree with you. I spoke and said that checks had not been cleared out of that system that looked like a check register book for
That's your
over
job.
12 years when I came in. That was one of my points. And as far as that sheet that the auditor received, she asked for that because I told her my numbers would not balance. Pat gave her that. I didn't steal it from somebody's office like you implied. I begged Patricia to talk to the auditor, and not once did she return that call. I told you board members what they were going to charge to get ourselves into balance on that whole thing. And nobody cared, and we sat. So the fact that you say I denied doing an audit, BS, because you didn't get that last audit back until like May 5th or something. They're not going to start the next audit until they finish the first one, which took an obscene amount of time due to the books in this township. So yeah, we're on the same page on that one, Susie. Not totally crazy on the whole thing, but I begged the board for help, and I've asked Patricia for help, and she would not. So don't make accusations you can't back up.
I can back up.
I can't help a program that I don't know.
Has nothing to do with the program. You wouldn't even share year-end settlements with
All right.
me or bank statements.
We're not gonna argue about it.
Yes, it
You
is.
made your statement, board is not to respond. I apologize for my response. Gail,
Randy, when we used to be, I think, all our zoning, everything carried on from Friday to whatever. I don't think we had new people each time. I think they just carried on. They had so many years, so you didn't have to do it each time.
okay. You talking about the,
Zoning,
I'm sorry.
the zoning that Mark just said.
What is this? Anybody else? Anybody at all? Anybody? Okay, if not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi.
I will.
Get it out.